Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's Total Impact Wrestling news and reviews. We're going to jump right into August 25th, 2016's Turning Point edition. Yeah, that's right. It's Turning Point per President Billy Corgan. Now, last week, we had the boss, the champ, Bobby Lashley, throwing down the title for the King of the Mountain, calling it garbage, undefendable, throwing down the X Division, saying no one can beat him from the X Division, throwing it down, calling it garbage. That was a shot to the gut. Seeing that X Division title discarded like that with no honor to that title. A belt that built that company, TNA, which is now Impact Wrestling. And the X Division did not die with Bobby Lashley. We'll see about that later on tonight. We also will have the main event. Only one man can get the title shot at Bound for Glory. Will it be EC3 or will it be Drew Galloway? We will find out in tonight's main event. But we open up again with the champ, Bobby Lashley. His music hits. He comes down to ringside. He's going to join the commentary team. The Pope will have nothing with it, says he's taking a coffee break since he's got previous problems with Bobby Lashley. And the Pope walks. Lashley and Josh Matthews will call the action in our first match, which is a #1 contender battle royale. That's right, whoever wins this match, and that's by casting everybody over the top rope, both feet to the floor, the winner of this battle royal will be the #1 contender to Bobby Lashley's title and get that title shot before Bound for Glory. That's right, they're not going to let Bobby wait all the way till October 2nd to have a match. President Billy Corgan stated that last week when he had discarded those belts. So we open up and we have the bromance coming out, Jesse Goddard and Robbie E. Eli Drake, that's right, dummies, I said Eli Drake is coming out. Dummy, yeah, Eli Drake coming out to the ring. We get the Tribunal coming out to the ring. Baron Dax and Baraka. We have Grado making his way to the ring. Mahabali Shera, the Miracle Mike Bennett, along with Moose and Eddie Edwards from the Wolves. Great match. A lot of action in this. We wound up with eliminations. Baron Dax eliminated by his own tribunal partner, Baraka. Mahabali Shera eliminated by Moose, is picked up and thrown out. Moose was looking fantastic. Eddie Edwards trying to get what he could in, but then we had Moose also throw Jesse Goddard out. And then Moose and Eddie Edwards were eliminated by the Miracle Mike Bennett. Problems there, certainly, I think, are going to occur. And it would turn out that, in the end, your winner would be the Miracle Mike Bennett. And Moose is hot as hell at ringside. We have then next up we have an in-ring promo from Broken Matt Hardy with the tag team contract in his hand. He says, and then the Obsolete song begins, and the crowd starts singing Obsolete as Brother Nero makes his way to the ring. And Matt asks Jeff why he is here. He did not summon him. Why are you here? He said, I am here to fight and to wrestle for my creatures. Then Rosemary cuts into the promo. And then Abyss comes out holding the title belt coming down the ramp. And then Crazy Steve makes his way through the crowd. Everyone having something to say to Matt Hardy. Matt says that there will be a match. How many should he fight? And then Jeff Hardy puts up 3. 3, and the crowd's chanting 3, 3. They want him to face the entire Decay by himself. But Matt Hardy says, no, it will only be one. And Rosemary agrees, and so does Abyss, who said he's had problems with him in the past, and he continues to have problems with him, and it's going to end tonight. It will be Abyss versus Brother Nero. Now this will go back and forth. Jeff Hardy doing what he does best. He did a flying drop kick, baseball slide, if you will, through the bottom rope, taking Abyss down, and then did an over-the-top rope plancha, splatting and hitting the monster out, but also injuring himself. It would go on. He would continue to do his high-flying maneuvers, although he was told previously not to do these anymore, that he was not an honorable gorilla, that he needed to wrestle on the mat. But he has disregarded that and is showing off for the creatures. Top rope, sees Crazy Steve. Abyss is down in the ring. He goes off the top rope to Crazy Steve down on the concrete, barely hitting Crazy Steve and landing hard on the concrete. Brother Nero is injured. He makes his way back into the ring and continues to fight Abyss regardless. Crazy Steve would come in with a chain wrapped around his fist. Brother Nero would take him out. He would take the chain. He would then punch Abyss square in the face with this chain, knocking him down only for a 2 count, and the monster would kick out. He was totally surprised by this. And then Abyss, and back and forth, and then it went outside. And Matt Hardy says that he's had a premonition, and it was him eating Steve. And he grabs Crazy Steve and he starts biting his ear and eating the side of his face. And there's blood coming up, and it's just crazy Hardy deletion episode. I mean, he's from the year 3000. He knows what he's doing. He gets loose, and as the match is continuing, Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero, is struck in the face by Crazy Steve's green mist. But it misses, and it hits Abyss. And Abyss stumbles about, and he's totally blinded by this mist. And then Rosemary comes in and hits with a red mist right into Brother Nero's face. And he falls flat in the ring. Gets up wandering. Abyss hits him with a black hole slam and pins him for the 1, 2, 3. And your winner is the Decay. The Decay would all leave, all 3 members. Crazy Steve laughing even though he's bleeding heavily from his ear. Matt Hardy's face covered in blood around his mouth. And he tells his brother, Brother Nero, you are not broken enough. You may be obsolete, but you are not broken. You climbed to the top ropes. You jumped off in these crazy moves to entertain these fans out here. And it cost you this match. And you were injured because of it. You acted like an honorable gorilla in leaping about. Those things must change. You will be broken. And that was the end of the Matt Hardy, Brother Nero part of TNA Wrestling, which is the most entertaining thing going in professional wrestling. I cannot wait for Deletion Part 2. As I understand, it's already been filmed, and it's going to be released sometime soon. I don't know who's in the deletion, who Matt Hardy will be deleting. We shall see what transpires, but I cannot wait, because it's even half as good as the first deletion film was. Totally entertaining, one of the best things in the company, one of the best things in professional wrestling for the year. Something completely different. You then have Billy Corgan go backstage. Maria Kanellis arguing back and forth with Allie and Sienna about how this match was made up for her champion. And then Billy Corgan would show up and tell her that, yes, I booked a match for your title tonight. And Maria was like, oh, you didn't notify me. We're both on the same level. And then he tells her that the now president of TNA, we're no longer on the same level. I sent you an email to your assistant. So the heat is on Allie. Well, it turns out that the opponents tonight would not be one, but many. So Sienna would meet Marty Bell, Jade, Madison Rayne, five-time Knockouts champion, and Allie, who of course on the indies is the phenomenal Cherry Bomb, friend of the One Wrestling crowd, a Big Slam Nation, and the show. Cherry Bomb and her husband, Pepper Parks, who plays Sutter in the X Division. Just letting you know, Cherry Bomb looks so different with blonde hair. Regardless, we'll see how this match pans out. It would go a lot of good women wrestling action in this match. They all came down at the same time. Whoever got pinned would become the champion. Sienna did not have to be pinned in order to lose her title. Back and forth. Marty Bell has no DQ. Marty Bell has her expandable billy club baton. She's cracking at, hitting people left and right. She winds up striking Allie, knocking her out on it, and then she falls dead on top, possibly dead on top of a prone Madison Rayne, and the referee looks down and does the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Your champion, your new Knockouts champion, is Allie. She is ecstatic. And I noticed, at least to me, it seemed like she almost broke character when celebrating the win in her interview. I'm wondering if she's going to, if the angle on this whole thing is that this has all been a ruse, a play on Maria Kanellis and TNA. That she's actually a bona fide wrestling star from the indies. That she is not this ditzy blonde Allie, this assistant. That this was all done up in order for her to get a title shot without actually having to go through all the wrestlers to make it there. It's exactly what Allie's done. And it's something that Cherry Bomb would definitely think of. And so would Pepper Parks. Interesting play. Interesting play. We'll see what transpires with this as she defends the title. They're either going to do this with her in a comedic way, with her haphazardly, winning, bumbling into the wins, if you will, which we've seen prior in other wrestlers in the past, like a Santino Marella, something like that. We could be looking at that type of thing. Or, like I said, she could throw off the whole Allie thing and reveal herself as Cherry Bomb. We shall see what happens in the upcoming weeks. But your winner, as I said, friends, would be Allie as your new Knockouts champion. We have Bobby Lashley as the champ, Allie as a Knockouts champ, and the Decay as our tag team champs. And right now we don't have an X division. What we do have is the Fact of Life. That's right, the Fact of Life show with Eli Drake. I said it, Eli Drake. I said Eli Drake. Dummy, yeah. He's got his dummy yeah button going all over the place. And his guests would be the members of the X division. DJ Z, Mandrews, Rockstar Spud, Sutter. Quite interesting how this panned out. They're arguing amongst each other. Rockstar Spud starts getting off on a good promo, and then they cut him off, making fun of him because he has braces, but he has the adult braces because of Sutter's inexperience and striking him in the mouth. It's a play back and forth. They're feuding. Eli Drake basically saying that the X Division didn't have anybody worth anything anyway, and he wanted his King of the Mountain title, but it's been put away. But he has the X Division title here. What he does state is that there will be an X Division match next week for that title. Sounds like it's going to be probably an Ultimate X or some type of Fatal 4-Way. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do for this. We will see how they pan that out. What happened is DJZ got angry and said that he's been the X Division champion numerous times. He wasn't a loser like Eli Drake was saying, that he was the loser. He was the dummy. And if he hit that dummy button one more time, that he was going to beat him down. And he had trashed the podium. And the only thing that Eli Drake had left after the fight was the button for the dummy yeah. And he hit it one more time, dummy yeah, and then DJZ lit him up. And DJZ cut a good promo. He was hot. He wants to be X Division champion one more time. And I definitely see out of this division, DJZ is the guy with the most X Division talent. I can't say that I'm not missing the old X Division. I think they really need to replenish the X Division and fill it up with more stars. A lot of guys going to be coming from that CWC who aren't going to be signed by the WWE, leaving a lot of high flyers out there who got the taste for television. Be beautiful to bring them in and have some type of event for the X Division with all these new players. Build it up until your next pay-per-view for Destination X. If that's the case, and please, you got to do away with option C. I've talked about this prior. It should have been done with Austin Aries. It's definitely done now with Eddie Edwards and Lashley, and what occurred with him discarding this belt. He almost caused this belt to become extinct, buried, done. I'm not going to say there's a black mark on the X Division title right now, because they brought it right back and put it right up, and they're going to have the entire X Division fighting for it, which saves the title's honor, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about the X Division title, what it's been through, what the X Division is today compared to what it was back in the heyday of TNA, when it was the hottest thing in professional wrestling, and it can be again. And they're going to have to do it to go to war, if you will, with the WWE's Cruiser Division, which is coming up. So I'd like to see TNA going head to head and having outstanding X Division matches every single week on television, and they can blow away anybody in the world. The X Division stars in TNA, the X Division has always been tremendous, and it can be tremendous here. I just would like to see some new blood added into the mix that they have at this time. Now we have our main event of the evening. It's EC3 versus who? You know who he's going up against. He's going up against Drew Galloway. And the special referee will be Aaron Rex Damian Sandow, formerly in the WWE. The match would go on. It was a really hard-hitting, good match. Galloway said he was going to hit hard, harder than he's ever hit before in this match. And indeed, he was rocking EC3 with fists and blows. Big potatoes he's hitting him with. EC3 would go back and forth with him. Galloway would hit a Celtic Cross on the steel steps, with EC3 hurting him and himself, denting the steps. EC3 would get a power bomb from him when he was trying to do a move from the top rope, and after that power bomb, he would then pick him up and do a sit-down power bomb, and would only get the 2 count. EC3 hit a TK3 on Galloway, kicked out yet again. Galloway would hit with numerous Claymore kicks, and he could not pin EC3 either. He then hit him with a giant sit-out powerbomb, which was way up in the air because he's so tall. And he came down with that powerbomb, and I thought EC3 was done. EC3 kicked out again. Will not let the 3 count happen. And then these guys start to blows again, and it becomes a chop fest. Woo! The Nature Boy. These guys are chopping their chest. Brutal. Waiting to see whose capillaries were going to bust open first in the chest and begin bleeding. These guys were hitting fast and hitting hard. And then they would wrestle, moves back and forth. EC3 would hit a flapjack pin attempt on Drew Galloway, and Drew could not kick out. And EC3 with a jackknife for the cover for the 3 count is your he is the title shot winner for Bound for Glory. So technically he's the #1 contender, but he won't be wrestling the champ until Bound for Glory on October 2nd. And it'll be quite interesting here on TV. We're going to have a battle for the X Division title coming up. We're going to see what's going on with the knockouts with Allie and Maria Kanellis. What is going to happen with that? I can see Maria Kanellis not happy that Allie has won this title. Obviously, I see her pulling away. Again, I'd like to see her reveal that this has all been, a ruse, that she's played her out and got her way in. I don't know what TNA is going to do in that aspect. I'm curious, and I'm tuning in. I don't check spoilers, so I don't know what's occurring before it happens. And please don't leave any spoilers down below here. We don't do spoilers here on my show. With that, fans, I am the show, Bill Schuyler. You can follow me at You Got The Show on Twitter. Follow the Big Slam Nation at Big Slam Nation. And then follow, of course, One Wrestling at One Wrestling. And Bill Apter, my wrestling guru, my wrestling god. He's a god. He's an icon. Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. That, my friends, is everything I got this week for TNA. There's no news for TNA. The only news I have is that former TNA champion Eric Young has supposedly signed with the WWE. It's not been confirmed by himself or the WWE yet, but all throughout the internet this week, it's been there. I didn't post a video on it because of the fact that it's only, right now it's a rumor as far as I'm concerned. So if you've seen it, it's not really definite yet. We'll find out, because they supposedly, from what I understand, NXT is going to be recording and going up to Canada. And that would be a great place for Eric Young to make his debut at home up in Canada. I'm sure he's had been working on some of his own TV projects in the past, so it's great to see someone from TNA who, he's moved on, doing other great things, and then getting back into wrestling, because Eric Young, one of my favorite performers of all time, and if he's not going to be here, at least he's back elsewhere, and it gives more credence to TNA, and I think it's bringing more eyes. You got Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, possibly James Storm has left the company. It appears that he is gone. With his Twitter, he's taking indie card events, which he normally has never done in the past. He hasn't formally stated, he hasn't been hinting anything about WWE, although the door was left open for him to return with Triple H, as they were not able to match the money that TNA had offered for him to come back for the India tour last year and to be a big star for them. And now that he's leaving again, it's bewildering to me. But I think they're looking to have a completely new brand, a new face for this company, and they're going with these younger guys, Drew Galloway, EC3, Mike Bennett. TNA is looking roster-wise. It's fresh. It's got a lot of young talent in it, and that's in the girls and the guys, X division and the regular division. I just like to see the roster thicken up just a little, especially the X division. I think the main roster should have a little more to it as well. Women's division, it is where it is right now. I think it's just right for what they're doing with the knockouts. But always, you want to have great female action with that. And then, knockouts have been known for great matches. And I'd like to see that continue. Other than that, again, that's the only news I have. There's no news generating for the actual program right now, other than the fact, as I said, that the rumor is that Deletion 2 has been filmed already, and we'll be seeing another Hardy Fest film. And I cannot wait to see Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero. Delete! 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 Yes. This is what we wear in the year 3000. Oh, Matt Hardy is a genius. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Folks, I'll see you next week. I'll see you at the matches. And I'll catch you down the road.